Good afternoon and hello to everyone who joined Heart Parcel today, celebrating International Women's Day 2021. My name is Hanane Hadioui. I'm a coordinator and support manager with Heart Parcel project. Today, it's a celebration that offers opportunity to our learners to lead the session and also to reflect on progress made, to call for a change, and celebrate acts of courage and determination, because they are all extraordinary women and also ordinary women and men as well. They have been played an important roles in their communities, countries, in their homelands, and also with their families. They are examples of perseverance to fight and bring attention to gender parity and women's rights. So, first of all, let me share with you our program today, please, an overview about all what we will have. The first thing, the first slide I will show you. Welcome to everyone. Please keep your microphones on mute. If you like, introduce yourself in the chat box. Where are you from and your name if you want. And what are you looking forward today? The second slide, please don't forget to share, especially today, our Instagram and the Twitter Heart Parcel, and use the hashtag today, Heart Parcel International Women's Day, and the hashtag Break the Vines. So the next one, this is our overview of all the program today. We will introduce our opening speech, our chief guest, High Sheriff of Manchester, Diane Hawkins, and our special guest, Haleh Moravej. Also, we will have a cook-along with Rasha. She will prepare or she will share with you Mosel Kobba. After that, we will have Fatima from Syria. She will share with you her presentation, My Memories in My Homeland, 7 doors. The last workshop will be recycling with Haleh from Egypt. If you want to learn how to make the best of the waste and discover your skills as well. Thank you, Hafsa. Now, first of all, I'm delighted to introduce you our honorable guest this afternoon, Diane Hawkins, High Sheriff of Manchester, who sadly couldn't join us personally, but she sent her great speech before this. Let me share her bio. Diane is an alumna of Whittington Girls School and a member of the school's governing since 2017. She became a Justice of the Peace in June 2005 and sits in the family court in the Greater Manchester as the Queen's Guide. Diane has various roles in Scouting. In 2014, she was appointed Chairman of Bolton. Also was commissioned as a Deputy Lieutenant of Greater Manchester. In 2008, as a High Sheriff of Greater Manchester, she had wonderful years meeting people and organizations all over Greater Manchester. Please, let me share with you her speech.
Can you see it? Is that okay?
Yeah, yes, just play the video. We can hear the sound.
Well, let me try again.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone, and I am absolutely delighted to join you online for Heart and Parcel's Break the Bias. I was out last night with MASH, Manchester Action on Street Health. I was with the MASH van, which goes out 4 nights a week, accompanied by a MASH staff lead and a member of their drugs team. we met over a dozen women street workers. They are all facing danger, hardship, degradation, and they are risking their lives in parts of the city centre where many of us would not wish to venture in daylight hours, let alone in the middle of the night. They were cold, they were hungry. Some of them were in very poor health, some were homeless, and many were using drugs. Why? This is the only way that they can make money to keep body and soul together, and just for men to take their pleasure, regardless of the harm it does to women. Mostly they were in their 20s and 30s, and some were older. Many were victims of domestic abuse. All of them were out on the streets in bitterly cold weather, servicing men who arrive in their warm cars and return afterwards to their warm homes. And the weather in Manchester is likely to drop below freezing this week. Now, perhaps that is an extreme example of some of the inequalities women face. I'm old enough to recall the women at Dagenham fighting for equal pay in the 60s. Germaine Greer calling on us all to burn our bras. The Equal Pay Act was passed in 1970. How long ago does that seem now? The Sex Discrimination Act was passed in 1975, as was the Race Relations Act the following year in 1976, and the Disability Discrimination Act in 1995. And yet, still in 2022, still we face discrimination and bias and gender stereotyping. Women are still not treated equally in all walks of life. For example, there may now be similar numbers of male and female lawyers newly qualified. But as you go further up the career progression and you look at the number of judges, the number of male judges considerably outnumber the number of women. And there must be discrimination playing into that because there is no reason for it as equal numbers are entering the profession. On average, women have lower incomes than men, and more women than men are economically dependent upon someone else. Women still bear the brunt of childcare responsibilities. For example, during lockdown, it became apparent that it was mostly women who were juggling homeschooling, their own jobs, and domestic responsibilities. What kind of a role model was that for our children? On the positive side, let us take notice of all the incredible work in schools now to promote equality, diversity, and inclusion. The way that many employers are waking up to the need to value and celebrate difference in their employees. On International Women's Day, we all need to wake up and do a reality check. Are we doing all that we can personally in our own individual lives to break the bias? We can start at home with our families and our friends. We can take it into our workplaces and challenge our colleagues. We can take it into our schools, our universities, or our colleges and challenge fellow students and teachers. Heart and Parcel are a shining example of a group doing all that they can to break that bias. Over the last 7 years, they have used the universal language of food as the primary means of including those who are not fluent in English to inspire, engage, and develop self-esteem. And in turn, by increasing communication, and the confidence to be part of our rich and so diverse community here in Manchester. I have been delighted during my year in office as High Sheriff to meet so many women from all over the county with a rich and diverse heritage. It has been a real education for me to join MacFest online and in person, so exciting, and to learn so much about them. We are all different, and we must and we should celebrate that. We have a great deal in common, not least because we are all women, and we must and we should support each other in breaking the bias together. Are you prepared to commit? Will you actively call out gender bias, discrimination, and stereotyping each time that you see it? Will you help break the bias? Please join with me now in crossing your arms to show solidarity. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all well and hope that you enjoy this online festival.
Oh, what can I say? How great message from Diane Hawkins, High Sheriff of Manchester. And so also a deep speech related to break the bias today. Also, why so important for all the generation to have the role model by starting by ourselves. Now, I'm delighted to introduce you the second chief guest, Haleh Moravej. Before this, I will share with you her bio. She is a registered nutritionist, a scientist, and the founder of MetMUnch. She is also a senior lecturer at Manchester Metropolitan University. Haleh had a multi-award-winning entrepreneur with over 80,000 public, educational, and individual engagements. Also, an award-winning student-led nutrition and health program. She served in a unique cross-functional role as a senior lecturer and founder of MetMUnch, working in professional services. She had many nominations. However, the last one was Collaborative Award of Teaching Excellence Advanced HE 2020. What can I say, Haleh? MashaAllah, an extensive academic achievements that we are all proud of you. And you are such a role model and inspiration for all of us. My first time I met Haleh was through MacFest. I was really fascinated by her presentation, Muslim cuisine along the Silk Road. And in this presentation, she explored the origin of some of the food along the Silk Road. It was really, really fabulous for me, for all the attendees. Now I'm delighted and honored to introduce you to our learner and the Heart Parcel participants to share your speech with them, especially International Women's Day, Break the Bias. It's over to you, Haleh.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I'm delighted that you've asked me to come and share a little bit of something from my heart for your, kind of attendees today. But before I start, I just want to congratulate everyone. Today is our day, and I want you all to take your mobile phones out now, and please take it out and take a selfie. I know some of us are better than taking selfies than others, because I want you to look at that selfie and really, kind of say to that person that looking back at you, a big, massive congratulations that you have been amazing, and you are every single day, you are amazing. So take that selfie, because I don't think as women, we actually give ourselves a pat on the back enough. You know, there is a lot we do for others, but we don't do enough for ourselves. So, you know, kind of, I want to start our session today with you taking a selfie. Doesn't matter what we all look like or what our hair looks like, doesn't matter. We really do need to look at that face looking back at us, and you know, giving it all the love and attention that we give to everybody else. And today especially, you know, maybe we don't do it every day, but we should be doing it every day. But today is the day that I want every single one of you attending today to look back at that leader, that woman, that extraordinary, brilliant, you know, kind of female, looking back at you and actually saying, yes, it is my day and I am going to celebrate every day. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, congratulations to everyone. As you heard already, I didn't know I was going to have my bio read out, so I put a little slide. I am, you know, a woman, so I think that's probably why you've asked me to come. I have met many inspirational women. Many of them are in the room today, but I have met many inspirational men who act as allies for women, and I think we should appreciate their roles as well. I am a scientist, and as a scientist, there are not enough women in science, especially in the STEM subjects. I am an entrepreneur, and once again, being entrepreneurial is mostly about men, and it is quite rare to be an ethnic minority entrepreneur and scientist at the same time. So you can imagine why I've been asked today. And I have been running a project for the last 10 years within our Manchester Metropolitan University. And around 10 years ago, I got really interested in, you know, kind of sustainability and the planet. But anyone needs to contact me. I'm usually found on Twitter. We are on Facebook with MetMUnch. But yeah, I just want to share a little bit of something with you. Hopefully not a presentation, but some, you know, kind of like little words that has helped me, you know, kind of break the bias and move forward every time that I feel as if there is a barrier or I need to reflect. So, you know, kind of, I think we've already heard from Diane that being different should be valued and celebrated. And I think just looking at the number of people here today, I think that's very obvious that we are all very different and we are all very unique. And I think we need to really appreciate that difference, the cultural difference, the religious differences, the how we look, the colors, the, you know, the thinking as well. And I think, you know, we need to really embrace our own creativity and really not be frightened of being different. I think being different is an advantage. So, you know, kind of being the same as everybody else, I think that would be a very boring world. And that would be, I think, robotic, very, you know, kind of uninspirational. So every single person, if you've ever felt different, if you ever felt like an outsider, if you were the only one who talked about sustainability or science or cooking in the middle of a field, so be it. Celebrate that, because you are not alone. I think that we need to celebrate our differences, but in a very cohesive community way that I think you guys are already doing. I think we, you know, kind of, again, Diane talked about diversity and inclusion. I think both of these words are being used on a daily basis. There's not even a single day that goes that we do not hear this. I think organizations are doing, you know, a lot to really kind of like enhance diversity and inclusion. But I think we cannot be passive. We are in the driving seat and we need to be pushing it. And if we do see ways of increasing it, then we have to do it. And I think that inclusion is an act, and we need to not wait for things to happen to us, but we need to make things happen. And I will refer back to your project. You obviously saw a need in community and you decided to put things, you know, and activities together to create this inclusive, amazing community of like-minded friends and collaborators and foodies and entrepreneurs. I think every single one of you is a complete and utter entrepreneur. So you know, kind of, as I said with your selfie, of course, I wasn't sure if everybody had a mirror, but you need on a daily basis to be your own leader. We continuously as women look for someone else to give us the guidance, to give us the path, to push us in a certain direction. But I think instinctively we all know what's good for us, and we all know how we can realize our inner potential. So every morning, again, maybe, you know, kind of when you are brushing your hair, you know, kind of doing, you know, I don't know, sort of doing your makeup, you know, kind of, I don't know, wearing your scarf, you know, kind of talk to yourself. That positive self-talk is so important. And actually, you know, kind of, it's really important that that positive self-talk creates that future leader that you see in yourself. So, you know, kind of, if you are ever in doubt that you need, you know, kind of somebody else to tell you what to do, apologies. Oh dear.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah. I've been a bit ill at the weekend and I thought my throat was okay, but okay. Yeah, be your own leader, because it's so important, you know, to look at yourself on a daily basis and really grow that inner person and that inner leader. So growing your career should be your main priority, and that career could be any career. And I'm being very inclusive here. That, you know, kind of, you need to be feeding, you need to be using opportunities, you need to be looking for directions where it will allow you to grow. And I think through that, we will break a lot of the biases, because when people say, oh, women cannot be pilots, we've definitely seen amazing pilots that are female. I do know that in Persian culture, for example, we do not have truck drivers, but I've definitely seen female truck drivers. And it's lovely to see some of these careers that are originally or traditionally are more male dominated, but now being given to women. So, and actually not given to women, but actually being, you know, kind of women taking them and making them their own. And actually there is no, you know, kind of gender when it comes to roles and jobs. And I think we need to really open it up. And as mothers and as aunties, as grandparents, we need to really open up the opportunities for younger generation to see that a career is one that you're shining and, you know, shows your brilliance and your skills, not what your, you know, what your gender is. I think I wanted to bring in the climate into this, because I think without being a sustainability activist, without really embracing the sustainability of our environment, then we will not have, you know, proper gender equality. And I think we need to all be embracing the climate change. And really, it is a crisis, but we need to be using empowerment and, you know, positive action, as you are doing today and every day possibly, to change the narrative. You know, it is not for men in, you know, positions like oil companies and banking to make decisions for us. We are the citizens of this world as well. As women, we make 50% of the population of the world. And why are we not in positions where we could be changing our environment and our, you know, save our planet as well? I think, you know, my message regarding today's talk is to become visible, as again, you have become. Becoming visible, people need to see. You cannot be what you cannot see. So you are already role models for your children, for your daughters, for your granddaughters. and for everybody else who is looking at you. So continue being that visible role model without you getting out of your comfort zone, without you getting out of your homes. Nobody will be able to see the brilliance and the energy and the motivation of who you are. And I think the world really needs to see more of that. You know, we need to be working with like-minded people. We as human beings, we like-minded people, and actually, you know, kind of consciously decide to go out and find those like-minded people, and bring them together. And again, you know, show how small the world is. At the moment, we are obviously within Manchester, but globally, now we've got technology, collaborate with like-minded people, bring in global leaders who would love to see what you're doing in Manchester. Don't be afraid. The worst thing that can happen is that somebody doesn't reply to you, or they will say no. And I think, you know, every time that fear takes over, that you want to do something, you want to invite someone, you want to take something, you want to take action, always reflect back, what is the worst that can happen? And actually the worst is probably always bigger in our heads, but collaborate and, you know, commit and create communities, because I think that's the only way we can really get over this bias and breaking the bias. And I think, you know, you're already doing it, but we share this love of food and the universal language of connecting everyone together, and you're already doing it. I think you're breaking the bias, one broccoli, one kofta, one pepper at the time, and actually, you know, kind of small actions lead to big transformational revolutions. So continue doing what you're doing, because I think it's so important to bring people together through healthy, good quality food. And that is, you know, kind of, as women, we you know, we are homemakers, and, you know, again, we don't have to just be stuck in our kitchens, but kitchens are places of celebration, you know, places of friendship, places of learning language, places of sharing love. And I think, again, you are hitting it, you know, hitting the nail on the head. But we really need to stop the world from this stereotyping, discrimination, and the bias that maybe the world has put upon us. So every time that, I don't know, you feel there is a barrier, I think carefully about it and let it go. I think every single one of us has got the responsibility within our own circle of influence, within our circle of community and city. We can let go of some of these biases. And, you know, kind of, I consider it a bit like Serena Williams with a tennis racket. Whatever is coming my way, I kind of like, you know, kind of push it out of the way. And, you know, if it bounces back at you, it doesn't matter, push it back again. And I think by pushing and by doing it in a sort of collaborative way, we can definitely change the world one step at a time. So today is your day. And as, you know, kind of Diane said and everybody else said, don't forget to do your crossing of the arms. But it really is not about crossing of the arms. It's about crossing your heart. It's about believing in yourself. It's about sharing. It's about, you know, kind of believing that every single one of you is born with this God-given talent and skills to do something to make the world a better place, because collectively we can really break the bias. And you know, kind of, it's really not that difficult to really see how you guys, how beautifully you have done that. So well done, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I hope that I've shared some of my passion for the sort of the women of the world, and you guys. And you have my love, you have my friendship, you have my you know, my support. And if there's anything I can do for any of you, please let me know. And thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I was really, really surprised by your presentation. Especially, it was a great speech, also advices to all our participants, to all women around the world. Also because you're giving them not just the tips how to be like to be determined to achieve your challenges, or to achieve your dreams. Also, you give them the guideline with their lives, you know, and how to become visible. I love this. And also to be your own leader. This really, really, really amazing advices and word as well. So I was just wondering if you answer me my question.
Yeah.
Who is your role model?
I think my role model has always been my mother. And, you know, she's a very strong woman. She's a very independent woman. And she always inspired me to really follow my heart, to speak the truth, you know, kind of obviously, you know, kind of, you know, be kind, be compassionate, and be confident, and never be afraid of following my ambitions. And every single time that I ever kind of, I don't know, I get a bit of a wobbly moment, as we all get, I always remember, you know, kind of her words of saying, keep focus, be Teflon, don't let anything stick to you, and just kind of like climb, and, you know, one step at a time. And it is, you know, kind of, I'm not, you know, we are not competing with anyone. We are just competing with what we were yesterday and the day before. So, you know, kind of my goals will be very different to somebody else within this group, but that doesn't mean that, you know, kind of the goal of even, I don't know, learning how to cook, you know, a basic, you know, foreign food, you know, it's all little goals that will lead to big changes. So my mother has always been my role model. But I have to say, I like ordinary people. I'm very eclectic. I collect, you know, kind of inspirational women around me, you know, so, you know, kind of everyday women. I think someone who's decided to be an entrepreneur and they're making dresses for babies. I think, you know, kind of Hafsa in the room was one of my students in a course, and she really inspired me with her passion. And, you know, I've not forgotten her. And so every single person becomes a little quilt, part of your heart that you keep in your heart. So yeah, I think, you know, kind of, yes, we all have, you know, kind of bigger role models, international role models, roots, you know, kind of, I mean, you know, people that can really, you know, kind of being transformational, but we are sitting on the shoulders of giants, you know, and I think that's really important. But I love the everyday, ordinary, you know, kind of hero that we see that are just doing it without even knowing they're doing it.
Thank you so much, Haleh. This is a pleasure for me and a pleasure for all the participants, especially for Heart Parcel project. So just let me thank you again about your presentation, and thanks you again because you join us and give them such valuable advices. So I wish you good luck for your event on the 10th of March, the role of women in the food industry with Moravej. Good luck, Haleh, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, thank you.